Hey there, I'm Brittany Schroeder, and business and marketing are my jam. I'm here to walk you step by step through this crazy thing we call business. I'm a small town girl, chocolate eating, Diet Coke drinking mom, marketing guru, automation Jedi, and all around good time. This is your weekly dose of all things business and life, sprinkled with some fun. This is the Redefine Business Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Redefine Business Podcast. In my business membership this month, the Meeting Place membership, we're talking all things webinars. So I have had webinars on the brain. The last episode that I recorded was on how webinars work and what they are and all things. But this episode, I'm going to dive even deeper, and I am going to give you the complete blueprint on all the essential elements of a high converting webinar. So we know webinars, they remain one of the most powerful tools for educating audiences, building authority, building those relationships, and converting your prospects into paying customers. But not all webinars are created equal. And I think I've learned over the years a really good strategy. At first, I was just throwing things out there, but I know that there has to be a strategy. If you want to convert people, you want to have a great webinar. So the difference between a webinar that falls flat and one that generates some serious revenue, it lies in its structure. So whether you are a coach, a course creator, a consultant, or a service provider, knowing exactly what to include in your webinar can take it from a presentation into a sales machine. So let's break it down. The first thing you want to do is start strong with a compelling intro. So your intro sets the tone for everything that follows. So within the first 5 minutes, attendees decide whether they are going to stay or click away. So this opening must hook them immediately. So begin by clearly stating what they'll learn and the transformation they can expect by the end of the session. Avoid the rookie mistake of spending too much time on housekeeping or on your bio. Instead, lead with a bold promise, maybe a statistic or a thought-provoking question that addresses your audience's biggest pain points, right? So a strong introduction also can include a brief overview of the agenda so attendees know what's coming and feel a sense of momentum. So set the expectations that this will be a content-rich session, but make it clear there will be special opportunity at the end. This really primes them to stay engaged throughout the whole webinar, and they have that anticipation of your offer. Okay, build trust through personal connectors. This is a big one. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. We know this, right? This is not new to anybody. Personal connectors are the stories and the vulnerable moments that you share that help your audience see themselves in you. So share your origin story, the moment you realized you needed to solve the problem or the struggles you faced before discovering whatever method it is that you are trying to teach. These personal details, they really humanize you and they will create that emotional connection. The goal, remember, isn't to make the webinar about you, but to establish credibility. So sprinkle in relatable moments throughout, not just at the beginning. Mention your family, maybe your hobbies, a funny mishap, or a recent client win. These small windows into your life make you become memorable and likable, which directly translates to higher conversion rates. I like to start mine off. I always have a picture of myself and my kids, or maybe a vacation we've been on, or something like that. I want to be relatable to them. And I feel like that is a good one because then they feel like that they know me a little bit, right? Okay. The next thing is make it easy for attendees to find you. So throughout your webinar, give attendees clear ways to connect with you. Mention your Instagram handle, maybe share your podcast, or direct them to a freebie on your website. This is especially important for those who aren't ready to buy immediately because we want to get them in our funnels, right? So building your audience and email list is a long game, and your webinar should serve as a launching pad for ongoing relationships. So I think of webinars not only as a way to convert people to purchase from me, but also to grow my email list. They're a lead magnet. People sign up. I want them in my funnels, right? So display your social media handles on slides at strategic points and verbally invite attendees to follow you for more content. Make it effortless by using maybe a consistent handle across all platforms and offering, or maybe even a URL or a QR code if it's appropriate. But you want to make it super easy for them to follow you and engage with you. Okay. The next one is create incentives to stay and share. So webinar drop-off rates can be brutal. Trust me, I know this from experience, but you can kind of combat this with strategic incentives. So promise a special bonus, maybe a downloadable resource, or an exclusive opportunity that will only be revealed at the end. Tease it multiple times throughout the presentation to keep attendees engaged and watching, but we want people to stay. So encourage social sharing by offering a giveaway for attendees who post about the webinar on Instagram stories and tag you. This not only keeps your audience engaged, but also can expand your reach organically. The promise of a bonus combined with FOMO, the fear of missing out, creates powerful motivation to stick around until the very end. So I will do this. I've done this a lot when I do my online summit, but I will say, hey, take a screenshot or take a picture and post it on your social media and tag us, and I will send Starbucks to people. And so I always have a bunch of people posting and sharing, what's your favorite speaker? What's your favorite takeaway? And people love that. I mean, who doesn't love getting free stuff, right? So think about that, have an incentive that you are going to offer, and it's just great at growing your network. So, okay, teach a powerful concept or transformation. So the heart of your webinar is the teaching portion. So this is where you deliver genuine value, and this is where you show that you are the expert. So choose one core concept or framework that creates that aha moment for your audience. So don't try to teach everything you know. And this is hard for me because I am one of those that I love to give so much value, but I have learned over the years that less is more. So instead, just focus on a transformation that shifts how they think about their problem. So try to keep it small and not too much information, right? The best teaching content reveals a new perspective or exposes a hidden problem or introduces just a different approach. Your audience should leave feeling like they learned something really valuable. Even if they don't buy your offer, this will build that trust and position you as the obvious expert. So it's really important. Okay, now this is what I love. I love a Venn diagram. I think it's such a great way to teach. And so this is something that I like to do inside my webinars, but I love to use the Venn diagram. So one of the most effective ways to teach a concept is by using a Venn diagram structure. So the visual framework helps your audience understand how multiple elements intersect to create that desired outcome. For example, if you're teaching about building a successful business, your Venn diagram might show the overlap between passion, profitability, and personal strengths, right? So the power of the Venn diagram lies in its simplicity. It's super simple. So it makes complex ideas really easy to grasp and gives your audience that mental model and that visual. And it also naturally sets up your offer by revealing the sweet spot where the transformation happens, which is exactly what your product or program should be delivering, right? So I like to use the Venn diagram, and it's worked really well for me. Okay, handle objections before they arise. Anticipate the doubts or the hesitation that your audience will have and address them proactively throughout the webinar. So common objections include, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I've had bad experiences, or just skepticism about results. These are all common. These are fears of failure, right? So weave responses to these objections naturally into your teaching. For example, if time is a common concern, share how busy clients have implemented your method in just minutes per day. If money is the issue, demonstrate the cost of inaction or maybe the ROI, the return on investment that your clients have experienced. By handling objections before the pitch, you're going to remove a lot of barriers to purchase before they become huge deal breakers. So I like to just put those in. I usually do that closer to the end before I start my offer, but those are really important. So know those ahead of time and incorporate them into your webinar. Okay, share testimonials and real life examples. Social proof is one of the most persuasive elements you can include. So throughout your webinar, share specific client success stories or maybe maybe screenshots of testimonials or real life examples of transformation. So use names, photos, and just some really great resorts whenever possible. This is what sells. So don't save all your testimonials for the pitch portion, sprinkle them throughout just to reinforce key concepts. So when you teach a principle, follow it with a story of someone who applied it successfully. This will build belief that your method works and it can work for them too. Another thing that I like to do is when I jump on a webinar, I will say, tell me where you're from and what you do. So a lot of times just on the fly, I will see a certain niche. And if I'm teaching a concept, I try to personalize it to them, or I try to give ideas for that specific niche, but already have some incorporated in your webinar. But that's just another on the fly kind of thing that you can do that really helps you connect to your audience and makes them feel seen and heard as well, right? Okay. The next thing is lead seamlessly into your offer. The transition from teaching to selling should feel really natural and not super in your face. Bridge that gap by acknowledging that while the concepts you taught are valuable, the true transformation, it actually needs implementation and it needs support and it needs structure and it needs the resources that you are offering. Position your offer as like the next logical step for those who want faster results, or they just need more handholding, or they need accountability, or whatever it may be. So phrases like, if you're wondering how to actually implement this, ... fill in the blank, or for those who want a step-by-step roadmap, ... And that will help ease them into that transition. So the pivot to your offer should feel like an invitation rather than a hard pitch. It should seem supernatural and just like the next step, right? Okay, sell your offer with confidence. Finally, present your offer with clarity and conviction. Clearly explain what's included, the transformation it delivers, and specific outcomes your clients achieve. Use a stack slide that visually represents the total value of everything included. So you can say, you get all this, it's valued at, and then you put the number. Then you're going to like maybe cross that out and then reveal the actual price to create that sense of value. Like, oh my gosh, what an incredible value that is. I'm getting all this for this price. So also include scarcity elements like I have limited spots, or a bonus expiration, or special pricing only available during the webinar. Walk through frequently asked questions and recap the offer and give clear instructions on how to buy. What is the next step? And you can put that in several slides. Like, okay, all you have to do is sign up, or all you have to do is scan this QR code, or here's the link. Make it super easy for them to go to the next step and very obvious. So end with a strong call to action, and then remind attendees that this opportunity won't last. That's your sense of urgency. You really want to push them. So by including each of these elements in this webinar, your webinar becomes a strategic experience that educates, it builds trust, and it drives sales. And that's what we all want, right? So when you can master the structure, you will have an amazing framework for converting your attendees into loyal customers. This is just a small taste of what is inside the Meeting Place membership. I break down webinars. I actually have a template of exactly what I talked about today. So if you are interested in learning more about webinars, come join me in the Meeting Place membership. It's BrittanySchroeder.com/membership. I will put that in the show notes, and I would love to see you inside my membership. All right, that is what I have. I will see you all next time. Let's not stop the party here. Head on over to my Instagram or Facebook group, Redefine Your Business, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. I will see you again, same time, same place, next week.